Welcome back, fantasy footballers. This is your commish speaking, and I just want to welcome everyone to the 2016-2017 Fantasy Football Indian Premier Football League. And we haven't done the trophy ceremony yet, so I do need to get that with Blue Thunder and present that to him. But I'm just waiting for that plaque to be engraved. So the loser of last year, can you take some time out of your day or week or month and get that done so we can get that presentation going? So I want to welcome everyone back. This year we have 2 new players. Well, I should say 1.5 new players. First, I'd like to welcome Alpesh Kumar to the fantasy football world. This is his first season, never played fantasy football. Only have heard of us talking about football during volleyball, and maybe possibly from his brother-in-law at his house. So welcome, AK. And then also want to welcome Bobby! Bobby has been talking about fantasy football for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, and has always been interested, but never could pony up the money. So this year he goes in partnership with Tim Tebow's team and has a stake in it. So good luck to you, Bobby. Good luck to you, AK. Week 1. It was a pretty interesting week where AK, our newcomer, wins the first weekly prize of the year. So congratulations, AK. We had a great draft. Obviously, some people were happy, some people weren't, especially after the week 1 performances. A lot of people were just like, what the hell's going on? But I guarantee you that the cream will rise to the top, and you will find those gems in free agency or trades, whatever route you choose, and you will bring your fantasy football team up. So keep your head up, and one of those guys is me. So I got my chin up, head up, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, so going to week 1, let's do a recap. This year I'm not going to have some time to do the matchup, I guess, predictions and whatnot. So I apologize for that in advance, but I will do some sort of fantasy show. And maybe a little bit of mixture of recap as well as next week preview. So I think you probably get enough of the preview and all that stuff from ESPN, NFL.com, CBS Sports, Yahoo Fantasy, Pro Football Weekly, yada, yada, yada. So I'll leave it to the experts. I'm no expert. I'm just one guy with an opinion. So first week, SCB played the reigning champions, Blue Thunder, or we called them Thor last year. So Thor came back with a great game. Thor was helped quite a bit by CJ Anderson and some other players. I can't remember their names, but the one guy that didn't do too well for him was Barnyard Doll Barnage. So good win to Thor. And then for my team, Steel City Bombers, we really didn't get anybody going this week. So especially the quarterback, Sammy Notkins, and his receiver. The quarterback, Ty Nod Taylor, and his receiver, Sammy Notkins. Anyway, so those two, whatever the reason, game plan, whatever you want to call it, just didn't get in sync. And with the lingering foot injury with Sammy Notkins has, it's going to be a rough year for SCB and Sammy Notkins himself. So like I said, they just didn't play well. Week 2, we had Steel Boys Crew. As you have it, his initials are SBC and mine are SCB, so a little bit of a similarity there. SBC, we'll call him, against Trump Squad. Now, this was a very close matchup, and you know what? The guy who turned things around from last year would be Andrew freaking Luck, Mr. Caveman himself. Mr. Caveman came through for SBC. And really put that lead, put a big lead on Trump Squad. Trump Squad was looking good to win this matchup with Jordan Reed and Antonio Brown left for Monday night, but Andrew Luck just eked it out, and they won by less than a point, which is pretty amazing. So, AB, my boy from last year, and I'm happy for you, Trump Squad, that you have him, because he's going to pay dividends most weeks. It's that around that 18 plus points every week. Expect that. But he did what he could, but your boy Jordan Reed had to suck it up. And I think I have to owe that suck it up to Mr. Kirk freaking Captain Kirk Cousins didn't play the way he should have. So that match is won by Steel Boys Crew by, like I said, less than a point. But it was a very interesting match till the end. Third match was Chuck Day NFL and Tim Tebow. Chuck Day, he always has that Baba luck, and this week though, Tim Tebow has the Bobby luck. So Bobby Power outdid Baba Power, and Bobby Power, his team, just basically was contending for a weekly prize, which is pretty crazy. It would have been crazy that either one of those newcomers would have won weekly. So good job to Tim Tebow. Obviously, A-Rod helps, and some of his other players who did not help them was Des Bryant. So Des Bryant had done some a little bit of extra work. He would definitely won the weekly. So that probably goes to a rookie quarterback not being able to throw that deep ball. So, but Des, you got to go get up and get it, boy. All right. Well, anyway, so the fourth match was the Guru versus Stewie the Devil. Stewie the Devil just loaded up on Seattle Seahawks. He had Danger Russ Wilson, Christine Michael, Doug Baldwin, and he might as well have found Marshawn Lynch from somewhere and added him too on his bench just for good luck. So, basically, needless to say, Stewie the Devil didn't do too well. He was helped by D'Angelo Williams. Again, another Pittsburgh Steeler outproducing. But D'Angelo can't do everything, but he tried. But the Guru, Carlos Hyde, was a great pick. And, he just, on Monday Night Football, got a couple TDs. Started off the football season well. And I'm happy for the Guru because, starting off 1-0, he hasn't had such great fantasy luck for the last, I want to say, maybe 7-8 years. So wish you well, the Guru. And then finally, the loser of the week. This would be LTTO versus Fortisair. LTTO, on paper, seemed like a good draft. I think he got the highest draft grade again, but just his players just did not come to play. If you just go down the list, Captain Kirk and, some of his other guys, I think Devontae Freeman he has, all these guys were just a big bust for him in week one. Hopefully they can turn it around and help his team this week. But Fortisair, there's some truth to be said about auto draft. And Fortisair, I think he was drafting on his own, getting some help from some outsider. And first, 2-3 picks we're scratching our heads. But then, it turned out Drew Brees was a great pick. Jason Witten, probably a better tight end than a lot of the tight ends that were drafted. Barnage, Fleener. But he did well. He let auto draft take over after, I think, the third round. And he got a pretty good squad. And the great news is that they just performed. And he wins the $40 this week. So congratulations, Fortisair. So that recaps this week, or week one, and just some players that really busted this first week. I mean, there's a long list. I can think of about 8 to 10 players that just really had bad games. One is Des Bryant, Todd Gurley, Adrian Peterson, Devontae Freeman, Kobe Fleener. Even Odell Beckham, you could say, had a poor game. But a lot of these guys were drafted in the first, second round, and and in the middle rounds. I mean, tight ends getting drafted in the middle rounds. It's still a big deal, but these guys underperformed. Like I said, hopefully these guys bounce back because they are top picks, and they stars will perform. But if in week 3 when you start seeing they're not performing, that's when you got to make decisions, and that's when you got to have the balls to go and drop players into the free agency pool and just pick up other players that you think have better potential. So I think one of those picks, Emmanuel Sanders, goes out to free agency, and Light the Tower Orange picks up another receiver in his place. So kudos to everyone for a week one. It was a little bit low scoring for some of the bottom teams like myself and Stewie the Devil and LTTO, but nonetheless, first week of football, very entertaining. Pittsburgh Steelers win their match, so as you all know, I'm a big Steelers fan, so kudos to them, and it was a very good authoritative win. So their offense looks good, so can't wait till Le'Veon Bell gets back, and until then, D'Angelo Williams, rock on, buddy. So with that said, I am going to be cutting this short. It's still a 10-minute video, so till next time, and good luck for week 2, starting Thursday night with the Bills and the Jets. Peace!